Hey everybody, this is Sully for Anti-Social News, and this is the body count report for January the 31st, 2018, and I apologize for the low quality of video of just me talking to the camera, but I'm in sort of a transition, trying to do a good work-life balance, and I haven't quite found it yet, and I'm trying to focus more on putting my studio mobile, putting it out in the car so I can make videos from anywhere, and I'm just sort of having trouble getting that, managing the time for that, and so this is still a work in progress. I apologize for not getting things primo for you, but it's coming. We are going to soon be having videos, hopefully made with maybe not OBS Studio, but something else that can capture the screen, and I can show you the stories, as well as, or if not show you the stories, I'll have a text down here at the bottom, and the text down here at the bottom is going to tell you what story I'm talking about. I'd like to thank everyone for the suggestions they've been giving me. Thank you for the support, and thank you for continuing watching. I hope not to disappoint you. Let's see here. Cameroon gendarmes illegally cross into Nigeria in hunt for separatists. This is a big story. We've been following for a while. Basically, in Cameroon, there is the French-speaking majority, and then there's the Anglophonic minority, and that's people who speak English as their native language. And they've been fighting for independence. They've been fighting, well, they were fighting for sort of like being treated as full citizens because they were sort of second-class citizens, and then it turned into a full-blown, like, civil war, and then some of them crossed into Nigeria, and the gendarmerie is I don't know if it's like full military, but yeah, it's like a military group crossed the border into Nigeria to go get these separatists, which is a very scary situation because that's an international conflict now, and I don't know if Nigeria is necessarily 100% going to side with the separatists, but Nigeria is an English-speaking country, so they might side with the Anglophones in that. Then again, Buhari is a statist; he might side with the state of Cameroon. So interesting. We're going to be keeping an eye on this. Hopefully, it doesn't turn into a international conflict there in West Africa. Next headline: Kenyan government arrests MP who led Odinga's swearing in. This situation is pretty scary for the people of the NASA movement because they in Kenya, that's the opposition party, and Kenya now has two presidents. The leader of the opposition party went ahead and got sworn in as president. It was an illegal ceremony. It is clearly a seditious ceremony, counter to the will of the federal government. But basically what happened was there was a sketchy election where the president, Kenyan, was re-elected. The Supreme Court threw it out because they were like, there's too many inconsistencies. We're going to do the election again. They do the election again. This time, the party that says they would have won the original election boycotts the next election, so Kenyan wins in a landslide, and they just sort of ignore that entirely and are like, no, we're gonna swear in our guy. And there's been violent clashes between the government and the NASA party. And the NASA party, I've been told by a Kenyan that the NASA party predominantly peaceful. There are violent clashes, but I was told that that's it. Basically, if If the Nasser party says they're going to have a rally and they're going to march from one side of the city to the other, they'll do that, and it'll be peaceful. If the government shows up, they'll provoke them and it'll turn violent. So it is what it is. I don't know enough about NASA to say that I agree with their values, but the situation does look like a huge affront to the concept of democracy. So I think this swearing in situation is a very clever and very peaceful way of thumbing your nose at the system. So I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out, and this is a life or death situation for the people in the counter-government movement. And then we have the Shopian incident. Soldiers provoked to the ultimate, forced to fire. This is a very scary situation, and it happened. I'm trying to see exactly where this happened. Srinagar. They had to controlled fire in self-defense after issuing enough warnings to violent mob pelting stones on its convoy at Shopian in South Kashmir Saturday, which led to the death of 3 civilians. So this is a scary situation for everybody involved. It appears to be well documented, though. So the military and the military's vehicle is smashed up. They've got and there's a little video here at Times of India for you to follow. So check that out. Very, very sad situation. The troops give a lot of warnings. They don't, and they let their windows get smashed up pretty bad. And fun fact: you can actually die with a rock hitting your head. A lot of people think whenever they hear these stories about a troop shooting someone who's throwing rocks at them, the inherent feeling, the instant feeling that a lot of people have is, those were unarmed people. Fun fact: you can die with a rock hitting your head. If I ran up to you and chucked a rock at your head, it could kill you. You have the right to defend yourself against me throwing a rock at you. If that means you jump out of the way of the rock and you hit me with a bat and kill me, well, there you go. If you have a gun and you shoot at me, there you go. You defended yourself. And we see this all around the world in these conflicts where it's armed versus unarmed, and the people pick up a rock and they are now armed. They now potentially have the ability to kill someone. And you know, this is the thing. Even with these, you can kill someone with these. If you hit somebody in the head hard enough with these, enough times with these, you can kill someone. A much bigger person could punch someone to death with these. I don't. Yeah, and if they have it well documented, and seeing their vehicle all smashed up is pretty well documented, I have to say. But we see this all the time in Israel, where you've got Israeli troops who are being very loud, very open with their statements of, don't come near this part, don't, protest all you want over there, do not cross this line. Guys run up, screaming, crossing the line, throwing rocks. Israel opens fire with rubber bullets. And it's frustrating that our natural reaction is to side with the person who's unarmed, but they're not unarmed. You have to understand. If I went out to the police station and I grabbed a rock and ran up to the police officer with a rock over my head like this, he has every right to drop me because I have a deadly weapon. If I get to him and I smash his head with the rock, not only could I kill him, but I could disarm him and then much easier kill other people with his gun. He then will lose control over his weapons. So if he's going, no, stop, sir, stop, please, stop. Sir, you are unarmed and I am armed. Please do not hit me with that rock. And I'm a crazed person? You think I'm going to listen to that? Oh, that's a good point, officer. I'll set this down. No. He's going to drop me. For damn good reason. I get sick of these stories. And the Shopian incident is exactly one of those stories. I'm going to burn through these other headlines real quick here. 7 killed as car hits landmine in Pakistan. Horrible situation there. Times of India reporting, link in the description. Magnitude 6.1 earthquake rattles Afghanistan and Pakistan. These earthquake stories are the most jarring. It's like, you know what to do if somebody is attacking you, but when the earth opens up and eats you, it's a little hard to combat. Yemen separatists capture Aden. Government confined to palace. That's a scary story. Haaretz reporting, and I apologize for sourcing Haaretz. It's not a political thing. You can see I like Israel. No. They got ads. And they are one of those, like, you've got an ad blocker, turn off your ad blocker websites. So I hate Haaretz. I hate Haaretz because of that. Because of the whole, you've got an ad blocker. You have to let us clog your screen with ads. And I mean clog your screen with ads. So I apologize for sourcing Haaretz. Open it on a Chromebook or something. Jiminy Christmas. Sorry. And then we have Prime Minister Netanyahu vows to retain West Bank control in any peace deal. West Bank control is a life or death situation for so many Israelis, the entire country, because it's a very dangerous situation. If they let any of their land go, basically it's a huge security risk for the country, because it can become just a breeding ground, and it has, and it no doubt will become a mounting ground for another intifada against Israel. Every time they cede a little bit of land, that land fills up with terrorists, and those terrorists then mount up a lot of weapons, start the propaganda machine, and invade Israel, or attack Israel, basically. Suicide by Israel. It's ridiculous. Then we have another story, basically is this a suicide by IDF story.